Well, good morning, folks. Pastor Rocky Branch, Spruce Pine First Baptist Church. Today, been waiting on this day, 175. 175 days we've been in this continual array, if you will. Trees, bridges, houses. Please don't burn brush or anything. There's a burn ban because there's so many trees down, there's so many problems with the dry weather that we could really be in trouble. So please don't burn anything at all outside, because it could potentially set the world on fire in our area. And as much wood is down, we would be in dire straits. So please let me encourage you not to do that. I'm sure I don't have to tell you, because I'm sure you know the danger, but it's just my responsibility. I feel like to at least mention it again to remind us that we need to be very careful, because things could happen quickly and very badly. Sometimes when you're going through something, it takes a little while to get the answer. You might have a relationship issue, a job issue, a financial issue. It could be a church issue, could be a health issue. Could be a lot of stuff, or whatever it is, whatever that you're going through, that you're anxious about, that you want an answer and it hasn't come yet. And sometimes when that happens to us, our faith begins to waver a little bit, because we begin to ask questions then. Lord, do you care? Lord, does it matter? God, are you there? Help me, somebody. And the Bible gives us so many different situations that God intervened when, well, nothing else could work. One of those very popular ones is the children of Israel as they're leaving out of Egypt in the book of Exodus. Chapter 12, as they begin their journey out, they get the stuff from the city and they head out of the city of Egypt, the province of Egypt, and they journey out to the Red Sea. And the Red Sea it's a sea. It's not opened up. And then the Bible says that the Egyptians looked back, the Israelis looked back and saw the dust in the air, that the Egyptians were coming back after them to put them back in slavery again. They began to criticize Moses and say, hey, was there no graves in Egypt that you brought us out here to die? Why did you do this? We told you in Egypt, leave us alone. We're happy eating garlic and onions and all that stuff. Which all wasn't true, quite obviously, but here's the thing. In this experience, the Bible says that we have a word in the Bible called Shekinah glory. It's the visible presence of God. It led the children of Israel. It was a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Well, this Shekinah glory led them out of Egypt. And then when they got to the Red Sea, the cloud came behind them. And on one side was the Egyptians as they made their way to where the Egyptians, or where the Israelis were. The Egyptians are over here. The Israelites are over here. On this side, it's dark. But on this side, there's light. And God did that to give the Israelites assurance that He would take care of them even through a difficult time. Now, the Bible says in the 14th chapter that these people were critically upset. They didn't know what to do. And Moses even asked the Lord, what am I supposed to do? And the Lord said, you're supposed to do what you're supposed to do. Take the rod in your hand, you hold it out over the sea, I'll take care of the rest of it. Now, if you think about calamity, challenges, situations in your life, things you're going through, we all would want instant results, because we don't have to wait, we don't have to worry, we don't have to pray, boom, it's here. That's not the way God works often. He does sometimes, but not very often. It's interesting here because the Bible says that this cloud that left from before the Israelites and came between the Israelites and the Egyptians, darkness to the Egyptians, light to the Israelites, the wind started to blow. And the wind started to blow from the east, a hot wind like Jonah we talked about. He was on the east side of the city, and that wind just got a hold of him and just ate him up. And the sun bleached him where he was bleached and burned him up. So this east wind begins to blow, and the sea begins to move back and move back. And as it moves back, the Bible says here, there's a wall on the right and a wall on the left. And that water, as it moves away, the wind comes in, that heat, that vehement wind comes in and starts drying the bed of the Red Sea. Now, to think about this actually taking place, which we believe it did, obviously it's in the Bible, but to think about it is very important, because when you have a problem, when I have a problem, when we have a challenge, we want it answered right now. But to think about it is very important, because God will answer it at the right time. But if you see movies about various things, sometimes they're just answered immediately. If you were to go to California and you were to go to the Universal Studios, I think it's Universal, and you were to ride the Red Sea tram, the Red Sea tram goes throughout the city, and then it goes around the studios, and then it goes through a water trough. And the water just opens up, and here goes the tram through the middle of it, and everybody's cheering and spraying water and all that sort of stuff, as a semblance of the Red Sea, of Charlton Heston standing as Moses with the staff out over the water, and here it comes back, and then the people take off through it. That's not the way it happened at all. Not at all. In fact, the Bible says that this cloud that came between them stood there, so the sea opened all that night. Verse 20, Exodus 14. All night it took the sea to open up and the ground to dry, that God's people could go through on dry land. Sometimes what you're facing takes a little while. Sometimes you want it now. You know that commercial, J.J. Wentworth, it's my money and I want it now. Boy, that's got a lot of people in trouble, I'll tell you. But sometimes the challenge that we have is trusting God when I don't get it now, when I don't get it immediately, to still trust God with what I am doing, with understanding I'm to stay focused and to go forward, that I am to trust the Lord with everything that I have. And it may take a while, but God's still working on it. And even though you feel like maybe it's not going to happen, or is it ever going to happen, God has a plan. And God will take care of that plan. And He will help you with your plan as He works together for the betterment of you and your future and your conditions of which you're facing. God is able to do that. But I need to remember that God does the work. I am the person that believes and receives. I'm to stay focused and faithful and let God be glorified. That is what the intent is, and that's what we need to do. So think about that. If you're going through something now, just remember God has made a way where there seems to be no way. God bless you.